All right, everybody. I know we had a few seconds left in that countdown for you anagrammers in the chat, but we have our players seated and ready to begin. This is it. It's round 24, the final round before the finalists are determined. And Austin, we just saw a pretty crazy game, the likes of which we can't really, we can't say we've either of us have really seen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we saw an incredible game with two phony bingos being played, and neither of them being challenged. And even despite that, Tega still somehow managed to dodge a victory there by not playing Sand Diver, which is again a pretty high probable bingo. He's played a lot of bingos in this tournament already that are more obscure, more difficult to see or difficult to know. Puts it down twice on the board, and then picks it up and plays effectively a losing move in that last game, which would have put him into the finals after this, which is going to be after this next game. But he's now in a position where he is now leading this tournament, as you can see on the screen. But if he loses by any decent amount, he will not make the final.
Yeah. The reason for that, again, as Austin says, we have a King of the Hill pairing system for the last few rounds, and that means the first and second players, again, we're going to have a rematch between the round 23 players, Tega and Opeyemi, and Sahid Jimo in third place will play Wellington Jigare in fourth place, meaning one of those two players will. I guess there could be a tie. Who's to say something crazy will happen like that? But even in that case, let's just put that aside for a moment and assume that there will be a decisive result there. Either Sahid Jimo will move up to 16 wins and earn a spot in the finals, or Wellington Jigare will move up to 15 wins, where you can see his spread of 920 is almost a certainty to overtake Tega, assuming Tega loses his own game. So Wellington moving up to 15 with that 920 spread, for sure he's going to overtake Opeyemi, and odds are very good that he'll overtake Tega too, assuming Tega loses his game that we are about to watch right now. Oh, wow, they
Already
started.
started.
I didn't even realize that. Okay, very good. Sorry, everybody. I guess they were that eager to get going. You can see Tega has only used
12
12 seconds on his clock. So let's go back and see if we can reconstruct at least this. At least there's nothing crazy on the board. So Y to start the game, then Dado as an overlap, and I guess we just saw Bop playing on top there, and we are now caught up in the game. Sorry about that, everybody. I guess it was pretty important to explain the scenario, though.
Yeah,
That
and just to also for those in the chat who are from the UK, I believe that Jimo Saeed is actually the same person as Wally Fashina, who actually won the UK Nationals back in the mid 2000s. So he goes by Jimo Saeed, or he's known as
Oh
Jammer Wonder
wow,
online.
oh wow, I didn't
So that's the
realize
same
that.
guy
Okay,
who is got a very good track record of winning major tournaments. So he's up there in the top four, as you would have seen, and he's obviously no slouch either.
very interesting. I did not realize that. So all right, Aula is the play there, keeping the S. Potentially Lowen in the same spot, another idea. Aula seems okay, keeping the N maybe for bingoing, but we're going to see the first
Laertes.
bingo of the game, Laertes for Tega, and he's playing it every bit as fast as we've come to expect. A lot of different positions for this here. You could play Laertes here, here, here. So he's picked, I think, the lowest scoring, but maybe he likes the defensiveness of this. You see the S in the triple lane here, an L in a triple lane, wide open floaters, easy IEST to play through, another L in a triple lane. So this appears to be the only positioning that avoids placing a letter in an easy triple spot. What do you think of that choice, Austin?
Definitely an interesting decision because the eyes above ladies can also give away a lot of points above that too. You don't even need a bingo to even hit that pretty hard if it's with an X or something like that. Yeah, definitely the lowest scoring play. I understand him not opening up the triples, which kind of leaves either the one that he played now or playing whale. I may have played whale instead just to get a few more points on the board. But maybe again, we don't know what Tega's mindset is right now. He obviously kind of messed up the last game, so he may be in a mindset of just keeping it blocked and trying to eke out a win that way for this last game.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated to see what we can detect about Tega's mindset coming into this game. You know, he had his ticket punched to the finals, didn't work out. So we'll just see. We'll see how this game proceeds. I'm pretty riveted. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying too.
Yeah.
To see how this turns out.
Yeah,
So
he almost had his ticket punched into the final and then lost his ticket and he didn't know where it went. He needs to go back in line and go get it again.
that's true.
Not quite sure what happened. So yeah,
And the scary thing is it's not really how it works in Scrabble, right? You have that game won and you just to start another one from scratch, you have no idea what's gonna transpire in this game. So early result though is good. Tega has the first bingo down. Opeyemi does not have a response of his own. It looks like he's gonna play Doc underneath Laertes, which looks like I don't know. I feel like I would really want to try to play the V here if I could. Um, Instead, he
yeah.
plays his C, um, and Tega is going to play
Oh,
Myri immediately. We had seen a
yep.
good suggestion in the chat of maybe
Remain.
Remay, yeah, which would have been an intriguing choice. So that looks like a slight miss. Myri is certainly a solid play, but Remay for 38 points is quite a lot more. I guess you do have to worry a little bit about opening this triple up. Among other things, there is the triple at the top of the board as well. But I think it's probably a slight miss. And
Oh no, yeah.
immediately we
The
see
X.
the X bomb go down. So
Exactly, yeah. It could be one of those things that Taker again doesn't want to open anything up, but he's playing at a lightning speed right now. 15 points for Diet.
so EX for 50, kind of interesting. If that was really the rack, it would have been an intriguing choice for Opeyemi to play
Ooh,
Vexed to the T of Laertes for not that many fewer points. Again, shedding that V, which isn't a tile that we like to keep. Oh wow, look at this. I, E, E, D, and a
yeah, that's why they
blank.
play Diet.
That's what on the diet turn.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me get these scores close to right, and then, yeah, that's nice for Tega to see that blank, but diet for 15, I guess that's just barely worth it. I don't know. I would be tempted to exchange there. I guess the nice thing about diet, though, as well, is that again we saw this in a previous game, placing the letters that you want on these squares is kind of important. Putting a D there, allowing him to play across. Well, actually, he has a word that goes this way with that D.
Yes, yes.
And we're almost certain to see. Well, that's a tricky find if the two of us, if we're thinking of the same thing, which I think we are. Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Nope. Okay, that looks like a bit of a miss. I think we saw an exchange from Opeyemi there, which made sense with those three T's. And now on this particular turn, let me flip this board around. You can see this was the move made by Opeyemi, but he had diegetic available from the D. That would have been a big find for him here to put him way up in this game. Instead, he
Stony down.
does. Oh, stoning. Wow. For a lot of points, too. So,
Yeah, maximizing score.
stoning for 83. So, all of a sudden, Opeyemi up in the game.
Two
Two
blanks. Tega.
blanks. Wow. All right. So, Tega is going to respond with something here for sure. Hopefully, with those two blanks, he'll be able to find something. What's he going for here? Desyatin. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I would like to have seen him actually take a bit more time to think of a better word that doesn't put the blank on the double, or even a word with the S in stoning as well. You can actually
Stonings,
pluralize
yeah.
stoning.
Very true. So I
And
think
he's actually, yeah, playing this move again very quickly, but he has two blanks. He needs a bit more time to kind of weigh up all the different options on the board.
looks like he's paused for a moment here. And yeah, you can see that something like Destiny or whatever, there are many, many things that play at the base of the board here, score 85 points as opposed to, plays up top, even that put, it doesn't look like there actually is a play that slots non-blanks in that spot. It looks like Dynamite or Desyatin is as good as he can do. All right, he's picked up his tiles, so we'll see. We'll see where he goes from here. But either way, Tega is for sure bingoing here, and Opeyemi's rack is not that good. Too many vowels, just an F as a scoring tile. So
Wayman's asking me if there's a 9-letter word with a DA in the middle of the board. I don't think there's any. I tried to look at it already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've ruined that for everybody by just telling you that there isn't anything better than the Stonings plays available here as far as score. 85
I did look at it though.
points.
I did look at it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Wayman, because it's like 6 in the morning where I am, I'm not awake enough to be able to find those, so I did have to look it up.
Early mornings for us here, trying to cover the action for sure. Do they play the finals today? The answer to that question, absolutely yes. So again, I think there's a break. They might have lunch break after this game. It is noon right now, local time. All right, looks like the original idea of Desyatin is coming down. And that's as long of a think as we've seen Tega have here. So that's a reasonable play. Definitely remains to be seen. What is the player's confidence level in putting an S onto stoning at the base of the board, right? Like a play here, there are still two S's to come in the game. And whether or not the players are confident to try a play here is going to loom large, I think, at some point. So
yeah. And for the North American viewers, stoning obviously is a good word, but stonings is actually only a Collins only word. So it's just for you guys out there, don't play it if you're playing in a tournament.
True, yeah. Be careful. The ing words are extremely difficult to keep straight. I can say that for personal experience. As Opeyemi plays few parallel to stoning, that looks like as good of a play as he's likely to get here.
Yeah.
Cutting the deficit a bit, and immediately
You're doing Mew?
Just MEOU, meow, yes. Okay. That seems pretty good, although I have to say a little scary. There's definitely some overlapping potential with this play, but with all those vowels on Tega's rack, I think it's warranted. This looks like a good play. So we'll see if Opeyemi, no, he doesn't have a great way of doing much. In order to overlap this spot here, I know it's blurry, you would need something like a D. I guess the Ds are all gone now, but an L, an S, something like that going across, and you might be able to get a nice play overlapping there. And instantly, another play. These guys are playing very quickly. So NEP and P again, that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. But what a pickup from Tega here. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah. Z and Q.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
I can barely keep up with flipping the board here. He's going to play Zine. Seems okay. There isn't really a great place for the Q right now. So playing the Z first and addressing the Q later makes some sense. The play of Zine here. Another possibility would have been potentially Haze. Yeah. It looks like Tega is deliberately staying away from opening those triples. We saw it with Laertes before. That was the only play that didn't open a triple lane. And now again, maybe opting for Zine over Lays because it just doesn't open anything for the opponent. Also, Zion keeps an A, which maybe gives you a little more hope for your Q, pairing with some other draws here. So, um, oh, we saw the L. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
I guess we can't really analyze, so we got to stay on the board because that L that we were thinking about coming down, we see it now with Axel coming across right here. And Tega is about to play of at that top of the board. So I have to say, OLE, if that was really the rack with also a K on the rack, I wonder if it was a miss of elk there. I feel like
Oh yeah.
elk making OK would have been a pretty enormous
Oh,
play there.
got the C to play pork now, which is what he's doing.
That's true. That's nice. All right, so hold on. Plays are coming in so fast. I'm trying to catch up. Opeyemi plays Buck with
Yeah, so
Hawk.
it's definitely possible he missed okay. I mean, it's still a relatively new such recent addition to the Scrabble dictionary, so it's possible that could have happened. But the play of Buck here also gives a spot for Taker to play his Q, which is what he's doing right now.
What will he play? This is interesting. There he has his pick of several options. If he just plays Quinn, that's kind of scary because that takes a bunch of hooks. And I think,
And
yeah, I
Quail.
think he's going to opt to play something else. And Quail is his choice. I think I prefer that here. That seems like a clever choice. I think the
Yeah.
players move their timers again, unfortunately. So not sure how much I can do to get that back. Um, but
Yeah, very close game here. Very close.
I don't think the timers really matter
Oh,
except
so
to
they're moving the
show
timer. They're
to,
moving the timer right now.
yeah, to show who's to roughly where the oh,
There we
there we
go.
go. That's back where it
Yep.
was.
Great.
Perfect. Um so wow, okay, Novates. Is that really the rack?
Oh, that is coming down.
Yes, it is. And Stonings is going to be played here. So Opeyemi is confident in it enough to play, and it is a valid word, and that's going to be a huge, huge swing in this game.
Wow.
Is
Yeah, I can.
Tega going to challenge this just to be sure?
Nope.
No, he's just going to move ahead and play,
Naming Vor.
and probably
AW?
just Vaw. Yeah, probably just Vaw. So keep in mind, though, that's like I just want to say real quick, there are 2 tiles in the bag on this play of Vaw. So he's played 3 tiles just instantly without even thinking, and he's only going to have 6 tiles on his rack. So that's just he's just sort of thrown in the towel. Not that there was a great way
Wow.
for him to there wasn't really a great way for him to like fish for something, but he didn't even think about it. He just slapped the tiles down and that was it. So just really surprising. So anyway,
Wow.
Opeyemi's tiles are EGHJRRT by necessity, given that Tega has this H and 3 R's. There you go. You see the rack there. And this is going to
Yeah.
be a win for Opeyemi, almost by the fact that he has that Tega has no vowels alone. There's not anything he can really do here.
Yeah, Tega does have R's with the A of Quail, AHS, that goes there. At least scores well. But I think if Opeyemi kind of plays something like right through that I and blocks it, I think he's going to be okay.
He
just needs to
also
keep that E.
he has his own H too. He could just plop that H
Oh, yeah,
there.
that's true. He could.
So
Good.
if he wants to block that big play, so Austin rightly points out that this is actually still a pretty big play here. But both players have an H.
Oh,
Oh wow. Okay.
he might still be okay. It doesn't score enough,
That's and we are going to see it be played.
but he's got
So
3 R's now, so
yeah, the 3 R's
yeah.
is just too much to overcome. So that play of AHS scores 43 points and temporarily gets Tega up to within 2 points. The score is currently 420, nice, to 422. But with those 3 R's left on the rack, that's not going to be enough. If he had slightly more flexible letters here, it would be a different story. Oh man, and the players are just like it's crazy. It is difficult to contemplate this game has huge implications. The winner's going to the finals and with a chance for a pretty significant prize, like $1 million, which is something in the range of 2,500 US dollars, is at stake in the finals. And these guys are just playing this game as freewheeling and free and easy as could be. They don't seem concerned about that at all, which is a little surprising to me.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing this game as if it's like game one of the tournament, or they're just playing at someone's house. It's like there's nothing up for stake or anything like that. They're playing very quickly.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you could also say they're just playing naturally the normal game. This is what they've been doing this whole time,
true.
and you shouldn't be changing your gameplay or the way you think. Just because it's the final game of the tournament, you should just be doing whatever you've been doing that's got you this far.
That's a good point.
And both of them have been playing very quickly anyway, so yeah, maybe they just felt like they didn't do their thing.
Yeah, really well said. It's definitely that changing too much based on the scenario is something that sounds good in theory, but often doesn't work out that well in practice when you're trying to, excuse me, to adjust, too much about the way you do things. I myself, every now and then, I have situations like that, and I often find that when I adjust too much from my norm based on the situation, it doesn't usually go well for me. So it is a good point. That being said, it is still jarring to see how quickly the players are playing in such a big spot here.
It is, yes. Yeah, they probably should have taken a bit more time on some of these other moves, but and you can see it's a very close game, and any misstep here could have actually cost them either player a place in the finals. But it
Yeah.
definitely looks like that Okiemute is going to make it, and as we can see bizarrely, there's only one R on the board right now, and all the other five R's are on their racks. So it's not something you also see every day either.
So we were talking about this briefly going in. If we just bring up, I'll just put the standings at the base of the board, so you can see at the lower right, the standings here is that Tega is in first place right now. It's looking like, barring something completely bizarre, we're going to see Opeyemi win this game. The question is by how much, and you can see that there is some kind of crazy scenario where if Tega manages to lose this game by less than 7 points. Let's say if Tega loses this game, imagine this score you see now is the final score, right? Opeyemi wins by 2. If Wellington then wins by less than 5 points in his game, Tega will still be a finalist, right? Like it's almost certainly the case that if Wellington wins his game, he's in, but he does have to overcome a 7-point spread gap between himself and Tega, which I feel like I was taking it for granted that pretty much anytime Wellington wins, it's going to be by enough. If Tega loses, a 7-point gap between two different game scores is absolutely microscopically small, but hey, it's not impossible, so we'll see.
Exactly, yes. And this also highlights over any tournament that any that's being played, the importance of spread in any game that you could have maybe hemorrhaged maybe 10, 15 points of spread here and there in multiple games. That all adds up. And you can bet now that Taker's hoping, that a miracle happens. But there's other points where even we're watching the last game where he didn't challenge Boney's like Sandfall, where he could have just played Sand Dive, or even if he just challenged Sandfall and didn't play a bingo, he would have saved a lot of spread points that way, or even would have obviously won the game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's even just slight missteps here and there can cost you dearly, and this might be one of those situations that we're witnessing right now.
It feels like in any individual game, sometimes you're just sitting there, even if, every spread point, however you get it, is kind of the same. There are games where if you win by 1 point, obviously that was the difference between winning and losing. But, the spread that you gain from that is equivalent to the spread that you gain if you're winning a game by 300 and you could have won a game by 305. That's still the same, right? Like playing every turn. Some people like that. Some people aren't as into that. But that's just the way that, Scrabble is as it's, currently constructed. I actually don't mind it. I think it adds a nice incentive to stay focused throughout, regardless of, the game result. And we're going to see a play of art here for Opeyemi in the lower corner. And I think the idea here is that he'll be able to play HER in several spots on the board, whether it be to the L of Quail or off of the H of Dock. Um,
Yeah, Roy
so,
comes down.
yeah, Roin, which again, Tiger would have been a better spot for that R hooking onto Tig on the board. So we'll see. I mean, those are again precious points of spread here. So Royan did use 2 tiles though, so that's probably roughly as good. And let's see. With just HER left on Opeyemi's rack, I think he's going to play her and CH off of Dock, which would go right
Yeah.
here, and that's going to finish the game. Right now, again, the score is a 2-point game, 429 to 431, but her is going to get Opeyemi an extra 15 points.
Yeah. This definitely means that I think does that definitely mean that Tega's out?
I think so. A loss by more than 7 points, that should do it for Tega. So his run to the finals appears to be ending in this game, while Opeyemi Oloro, who, again, we talk about Wellington Jigure, Edekaro, even Olatunde Odewole, top players from Nigeria. Opeyemi Oloro has a 2050 WESPA rating and has consistently proven himself to be at an extremely high level. So we shouldn't really be surprised that he's found his way into the finals. I'm just fascinated to discover who his opponent will be. Will it be Wellington Jigure working his way back? And it looks like no. It looks like hold on. Oh no, we don't know yet. Sorry. Spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Just real quick, what made the standings rejiggered on my screen, and I thought for a moment I saw Wellington drop, but it's only because Edekaro's game is finished and he
Finished,
has put
yes.
his name back in 4th place for now. But unfortunately for him, that's going to not quite do it because one of Sahid, Jimo, or Wellington Jigure is about to pass him in the standing. So I think we're still seeing this game wrap up as Opeyemi is going to play her strange choice, given that he had the higher scoring variation of this pretty much on the board a moment ago. This scores 13 to that other play's 15, but who cares? He's made his way into the finals. Yeah, Weibin, something about my transitions causes the sound to drop for a moment. I've never known how to fix that. So final score in this game after that last play, according to us anyway, 429 to 448 in favor of Opeyemi Oloro, who
Wow.
has clinched a spot in the finals. Gutted for Tega Okiemute, who has played pretty amazingly well from what we've seen, but just some brutal lapses at some pivotal moments. And he's going to
Yeah.
be on the outside looking in at the finals.
Yeah, as we saw in the last game, yeah, I think Taker kind of snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, and it's the point where when Sandford came down, if you were at a bookmakers and you were betting on this, the bookmakers would have stopped taking bets. It would have been game over. Taker would have been declared the winner and into the final already. But this is the situation we're in right now. Fast forward another hour, and Taker is not in the final. That's
It's
it's a
shocking.
big swing of events, and we can see that Opeyemi Oloro will be in the final. So congratulations to him for being the first qualifier, I guess, that we know of. And we're still waiting on the other result.
Yeah, the other result again, you see the results trickling in. At some point in the near future, we're going to see the game we just watched get entered into the standings. Um, yeah, Alex, I don't know. Yeah, as you said, Austin, if the bookmakers were taking bets, they would have stopped at the end of that game with Sandful. And maybe Alex is saying this because he saw Sandiver on the board and he got up to go make a sandwich or go do something else with his day.
Oh, the result came in.
Yeah, it's I think that was misentered, right? Like The result was just entered in for Tega with a massive
Oh,
win.
I mean, Saijimo just won also. Looks like he just beat Wellington.
No,
Is that right?
well, no, I
Oh no.
think.
Okay, they've
Okay, there we go. Okay, the result was entered in
okay.
erroneously. Now we're seeing the correct result, at least for Opeyemi and Tega. We still have yet to see a result for Sahid Jimo and Wellington Jigare.
Okay.
Um, so Alex, yeah, Alex, we're just as shocked as you are. We were there watching it the whole way. This game took place pretty quickly, so it's not obvious to me that we're gonna get that result from Wellington and Sahid immediately. So maybe the best thing to do is to just take a moment here and just recap a little bit of the game we just watched, and we'll just keep an eye on the standings in the lower corner. Maybe that's the best thing we can do. So as soon as that result comes in, we'll know who our finalists are. But yeah, in this game, of course, we were busy. I was busy blabbing about the game situation, and we didn't actually see the first couple racks of the game, unfortunately. We caught up with the game at this point with Aula. Seemed like a reasonable play. Laertes here for Tega to get on the board first. And then, Doc seems okay to set up that S. I probably would have liked to see something using the V somewhere, whether it be Davin or I don't even know, actually. These are all a little scary. Maybe just something like Vend feels pretty safe.
Pretty good.
And then we had a suggestion in the chat of Remay on this turn, which looks like it scores quite a bit better than the play of Myri. X-Bomb here, this is where this came down so fast that we didn't really get a chance to analyze whether we thought the X play was any better than Vexed here. I do feel like getting the V off that rack is a huge gain in expected bingo, and especially putting the E out in space. I do feel like that's, that's important.
Yeah, there's the A as well and Oloro as well.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to get Lukeman to give us the Wellington result as soon as possible, because that's gonna determine we're gonna be able to announce who the finalists are. I'm sure they're still playing. That game ended so quickly, like we said. So anyway. Diet on this turn. Oh, wow. Okay. The result from Lukeman, the event organizer, Lukeman Owalabi, says Wellington Jigare won his game against Sahid Jimo and punches his ticket into the finals. Incredible. Wellington has to have won his last 3 or 4 games to work his way back up into the mix, and I can't imagine that any of us are surprised. Wellington Jigare, former world Scrabble champion, rated number 2 in the world right now by rating, routinely one of the top players in the world by rating over the last decade. He's going to be our finalists here. He's going to be our second finalist, I should say. So that result is not in, but when it is, he's going to vault up to second. And wow, that's so exciting. So we're going to have 2 of our top-rated players. You see Opeyemi in the mid-2000s, Wellington at 2094, dropping a little bit due to the extreme strength of the players in this group. But, that's going to be an exciting final, Austin.
Yeah, you're going to see some top class Scrabble. And is it a best of 5 for the final? Is that what it is?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be action packed. I can tell you that right now. And we can see some good players from Opeyemi to make it into the final. And we all know that Wellington is one of the best players in the world, and he's going to bring his A game no matter what. And he's a proven champion, proven winner, and we'll see if he can add this to his CV.
Yeah, to his, trophy chest. I'm sure he has a big one with lots of Scrabble trophies.
Definitely.
Austin, you yourself, I hope you have a full shelf of them. Maybe behind you there. I think behind you there is must be a lot of trophies, including UK championship, multiple US championships. So anyway, what we're going to do now is the players are going to go on lunch break locally. We are going to be moving the streaming setup into a dedicated room just for the finalists. So they're going to be off in their own world playing their games. And definitely want to take this time once again to thank you, Austin, for coming aboard. Just want to again, let's see if we can do this. How do I do this? Make it really easy for people. How do I shout out? Isn't there a way to do that on Twitch?
Yes. S-O, yeah.
There we go. Okay, so just a huge shout out to Austin, and thank you for joining me for this commentary. Definitely want to encourage everybody to go follow his own channel over at Austinho9. Thanks, Austin. Really appreciate it. We are going to have another commentator, potentially you guys are aware, Conrad Bassett Bouchard, another former North American champion, will join me for the finals. But definitely want to show Austin some love. Hope you guys can take a little time, head on over to his channel and give him a follow because he's been streaming a lot lately, and it's extremely entertaining to watch somebody that good at Scrabble just to play and dispatch his opponents. So thanks, Austin. Any final words from you before we head to break?
Yeah, thanks again, Will, for having me. Thanks to all you guys in the chat for your inputs. Yeah, you guys are in for a big final. Opeyemi against Wellington. It's going to be amazing. We're expecting some really good players. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the final in maybe an hour from now. So yeah, stick around for that.
Yep, we'll be back in an hour with the finals of the MGI Grand Slam 2022. Don't miss it.